coming out for this Hull FC side. Holborn, they have got a wrap. I mean, that is one of the optimistic features of this whole club at the moment, isn't it? John Cartwright, we're led to believe, coming in next year. But one of the big pluses are people like David Litton, local kids who've got real talent, who are just beginning to blossom now. Yeah,
David Litton, you would add Jack Charles that list. Lewis Martin, I think, has had an outstanding season. Denise Barnford, who starts off the bench today in the hooking role. That is all going to be for future seasons. I'm not sure how much sucker it is for the home fans because they're doing it tough this season, but they will benefit in the long term, I am sure.
Aaron Moore, as you can see, the referee. Jack Smith is our video referee if and when needed today. It's the footnote on Jack Charles. His dad, Chris, is here today.
He's sat behind us, actually.
Yeah, sitting about 10 rows behind us. Sure, he's had a proud year watching his son, albeit Jack not having featured in many winning Hull FC sides. Wigan will get first touch of the ball, and as you say, really important period in the early stages here from a Hull FC point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got to get into completing their sets, and I think making first contact, restricting the metres of Wigan, because it's something they failed to do last week in the derby, and they found themselves in a massive hole after 20 minutes.
And Semba with a drive. The only question mark about this Wigan side is having played in the intensity of that derby last week. How do they back it up? Well, I'm sure they'll show us today that they're more than capable of doing that. But this first set, for the moment, going to plan. Here's Nsemba again. It's a fairly flat line. There's no real depth for Nsemba to hit the Hull FC defensive line. They're on the last. Back it comes to Smith, who just about gets that kick up in the air, end over end, and Walker's up there to catch it. And not a bad starting place from Hull FC on the back end of that set of six.
Yeah, decent first defensive set, and I think there was a really good bit of kick pressure by Yusuf Aiden. Played 80 minutes in the middle last week in that derby and was exceptional in doing so as well.
Briscoe coming across the line and Sutcliffe joining in as well. So out of dummy half, it's going to be taken by Smith and Truman along the line, and here comes a step from Walker, who's done well to get that away as well. Briscoe was involved once more. So takes it just inside that Wigan half. Smith again, skipping away. Pulled back, Walker thought about the pass, spins out of the attempted tackle from Kieran. Kieran's back there to make the tackle, and him and Semba and Miski just threatening to carry the whole full-back towards the touchline. And a kick from Truman, going high, Eckersley, and a kick from Truman, going high, Eckersley underneath it, and a good chase by Yusuf Aiden.
Yeah, again, second positive involvement from the man who started the season on the opposite side of the city. I'm just looking at, what a set they've had as well. Jake Truman is a key player for Hull FC. They missed him for the early parts of the year. I think the more touches he has early in the game, I think the better the prospects are for the home side. Great kick chase, great tackle.
Great timing. Out of dummy half goes O'Neill, and here's Havard looking to straighten things up. And Chamberlain, another new one, of course. He had a couple of games on loan early in the season, didn't he? But he's now back here again from Lee. And will be here on a permanent basis next year. Sixth again, Smith. Oh, he's got some spin on that. My goodness, has he got some spin on that. And that is what happens when you get a kick like that. Lewis Martin, made to look foolish, but it was all about the quality of the kick. And Wigan followed that up with a knock-on.
Well, he's been let off here. I mean, it wasn't a floater, it wasn't a typical spiral. It kind of corkscrewed through the air a little bit of a loose start from Lewis Martin, but he's gone away with one because Wigan have erred off the back of that.
I think you're being harsh there. I thought that was a terrific kick from Smith.
It was neither one nor the other.
Spinning around in mid-air. Anyway, Hull FC get themselves back in possession here. As we mentioned earlier, 40 players in 19 matches used, and 8 of the 17 today for the Black and Whites are new to the club this season. It's been a year of change without changing fortunes on the field. One coach gone without much of a reaction in terms of uplift. Temporary coach in Simon Griggs since then has got one win, an eye-catcher against Leeds the other week. And a new coach coming in, although there is some mutterings about whether that's going to happen. Oh, it's a little dummy shown, but and Sembers cross to make the tackle. It's back for Aiden again. Good leg drive in the contact. Smith spins it left. Truman puts that up. Eckersley's underneath it, but Miski's the one to rise. It's bounced away, and it will be Jack Walker who collects from that advantage. What a start for Hull FC. Immediately putting pressure on the league leaders, and Walker with a try with barely 5 minutes played.
Now they've had 2 sets in possession, 2 good sets. Both ended with a kick from Jake Truman, and this time with a good kick chase off the back of it. Lewis Martin, having dropped at the other end of the field, has knocked it back into the arms of Jack Walker, who opens a score, and he's back in the side for the first time in a few weeks, isn't he? After Logan Moy had deputised and done really well in that position. But it's a lovely position kick right into that corner. Bit of pressure on Abbas Miski, and then the ball's fallen kindly to Jack Walker, opens the scoring. And this is exactly the start they needed. They needed to start like this against a side that carries all the momentum. And that winning record, as you referred to before we kicked off, not lost a game since round 9, lost only 2 this season. That sort of thing can get in your head as an opposition. Well, not a bit of it. What a bright start from the black and whites.
It's interesting to see the positional sense there of Walker. It was almost as if he was anticipating that ball coming free, wasn't it? He took up a position where if either teammate or opposition got a hand on it, stroke spilled it, he was there. Yeah,
I spoke to Simon Grix about Jack Walker, because his omission from the side was a strange one. And he talked about him doing a little bit less. Just let
Charles with a kick, and it is a good one. And Hull FC leading by 6 points to 0. And who would have written this ahead of kick-off?
Yeah, good kick from Jack Charles. Yeah, talking about Jack Walker doing a bit less, he thought there was a bit of a kind of headless chicken about him the last kind of 4 or 5 games that he played. So they put him away. They've put plenty of training into him, and said, look, you need to calm down, quieten your mind a little bit, and you pick your time to insert yourself in the game. Well, it seems like he's listened.
He's a man with some pedigree, isn't he? He's a grand final winner with Leeds back in 2017. That's taken in the end on the touchline by Jordan Lane. And Hull FC again start with a bit of wind in their sails here as Lingy Sao takes it in. Here's Smith. A little bit flat from Hull's point of view. Smith, and a step from Sutcliffe, but they've only reached the 20-metre line on tackle 4. SASA tries to right that wrong, offloads it, Charles gets it back, and Sao flings it out wide. And here's an opportunity for Lytton, and they're keeping it alive here. Still the 4 tacklers, you can hear from the referee. So they have escaped. They covered some good ground on that play. With 1 to go. Smith had a dummy half. That's another terrific kick. It ain't a 40-20, but in terms of what was intended there, executed brilliantly.
No, they've navigated the opening 10 minutes of this game really well. I think they've done pretty much everything right. There's a loose attempt at a catch by Lewis Martin. There was an incomplete set with a forward pass, but look, it's all enterprising stuff that we're seeing. And Wigan do look, I mean, I wouldn't say shocked, and this is going to be a patient side who know what it takes to win a game. They're not panicking, but they don't seem to have clicked into gear either.
Well, you spent last week in the derby, John, embedded in the Wigan camp. You don't fancy just nipping over now and asking them what the mood's like here?
Yeah, I'm not sure they'll forgive me for that anyway, as it stands.
As coaching staff of Wigan, there's a little concern maybe in the early stages, but this is brilliant from Eckersley, and Eckersley has got support, and it's Liam Farrell who slips under pressure, is still going, but finds it wide, and Liam Marshall, well, Hull's defence recovers superbly, because Marshall very often finds a way to find a way on those kind of situations, but not on that occasion. And now Farriman stepping back in, and stepping back out again, and very nearly getting there. SASA with a last-ditched attempt at tackle to stop him. Smith puts it in the in-goal area. Wow. Not a great kick, and Hull FC come back up with possession.
Wow, what a defensive set. They were really tested for the first time Lewis Martin covered 50 metres to pull down Liam Fowler, or to jump on Liam Fowler when he slipped, and then Herman Esse, absolute try-saving tackle as well to prevent Wigan from opening their account this afternoon.
And this is Briscoe. What are we watching here? Early days, 15 minutes.
Let's not get too carried away, but
things can change, as we know. But you'd almost rate this as Hull FC's best 15 minutes of the season so far. Which, to be fair, ain't saying too much. But they have been good in this opening quarter of an hour. Kick away from Truman. Oh dear, that's miscued, completely miscued. And it means that Wigan will get it back, and a set of 6 camped in that whole end of things.
That really hurts them, from one of their most experienced players as well. Someone they clearly missed when he was out injured. He had a delayed start to the season, didn't he, because of that Achilles injury. No, they really can't afford to be doing that. They need to be squeaky clean.
Kieran with the opening carry. Narrowed it to 15 metres out. O'Neill goes out. Here comes Havard. We know what you get from him. Just a big, strong, muscular effort. Wrestled down. O'Neill again, having a bit of a look. Left to Smith. And here's Eckersley, who delays the pass superbly. Drew that defence out with a second effort in the pass. And then Marshall is offered an easy stroll in on that far left-hand side.
He's some player, isn't he, Zach Eckersley? You mentioned the absence of Field and French, the 2 playmakers, or 2 of the 3 recognised playmakers for the Wigan Warriors. Well, Zach Eckersley has slotted in at full-back seamlessly over the last couple of games, and he's provided the try on a plate for Liam Marshall. Takes his tally to 18, tops the Super League try-scoring ranks by some distance now. He's putting clear water between him and the rest, and that's because he has service like that from the inside. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, 24 in total if you add the Challenge Cup as well, so he's racking up quite a hatful, isn't he, this year? Liam Marshall again.
No, he's just a recognised try scorer, but it's a lovely piece of delay there. Look, he waits for Tom Briscoe to come out of the line, assesses in a split second, and then provides it on a plate for Marshall. And it's not just a running for Marshall either. Marshall's got to trust his inside, he's got to keep his timing, he's got to work off the full-back. All of those things that come second nature to that standard, that calibre of player. That's why he scores so many tries. Never overruns, never misses his assignment.
Well, interestingly, it's Kieran who's taking the kicks here. Adam Kieran. Harry Smith has been, for the most part, the go-to, but Adam Kieran has slotted 30 over this year. So he's not a dummy, is he, by any stretch of the imagination?
Well, he was a starting kicker, wasn't he, for the Catalan Dragons last year, and provides a great option if Harry Smith's not feeling it for whatever reason, but it's going to be the wrong side for him.
Kieran just settling himself. For the record, Harry Smith 53 goals this year, Adam Kieran 30. So he's not that far behind. Lady at the back is pointing to an imaginary watch as if to say, you're taking a long time here, Adam. And he has put it wide. So 6 points to 4.
Yeah, and that's just an example that you cannot give a side of this quality easy possession and territory, and that's what they did, unfortunately, off the back of Jake Truman's shanked kick. Puts them in position, they fall into shape so easily, don't they? And they're just a well-oiled machine, very, very used to doing this.
So Sutcliffe with a restart. Just for a moment there, it looked as though Liam Marshall was going to be grabbing at that with fingertips, but he had judged it well. And Wigan looking to switch themselves back on here, get back into that rhythm of just pounding it forward that we've seen time and time again this season. Farrell to his feet, O'Neill to the right, Thompson crashes in. Well met though, Hull's defence Lane on that occasion. Here's Nsemba. And is that Lane again who's getting right at the heart? That's 2 consecutive tackles from Jordan Lane, and that's appreciated by the Hull fans. Ellis can't offload because of the attention of 3 in black and white. Last play, Smith gets that kick away. Briscoe underneath it, gets good vision of that.
Yeah.
And here they go from there.
Yeah, and again, Smith has had to adjust the trajectory of his kick because of the kick pressure from Morgan Smith. You know, that would have been a very different end to a set. That would have been Hull FC pinned in a corner. This is a home side that are making those little efforts now off the ball that are really making a difference. They're keeping them in this game.
It's a warm and sultry day today, isn't it? It's very close, which is not going to help those on the field. But Thompson comes out of that line to hunt his man down and make that tackle a good one. So Hull lose a yard or two. Here's Esse, straining up and battering into O'Neill, pushing away Ellis, having another go. Even Thompson's bounced off, and now Sau can take up the running. Well, Esse again with a good, strong effort. And Hull FC with Charles going right, the dummy. One tackle left in this set. So it's just stuck up in the air by Smith. Eckersley comes forward, he spilled it, but it clearly went backwards, but then Marshall has knocked on. Well, the first fumble was okay, the second unforgivable, and it means Hull FC get themselves an opportunity here.
Well, it just goes to show you that nobody is without fault. Even if you play for the mighty Wigan Warriors, you apply enough pressure and you will elicit mistakes, even from the side that sit top of the Super League table. And it's nothing less than they deserve. I think it's been a really bright start. They were rattled a little bit following Liam Marshall's try, but they've got back on the horse very quickly. They've set everybody up to the left-hand side as well here, Dave. But they've got back on the horse very quickly. They've set everybody up to the left-hand side as well here, Dave.
Simon Gregg's looking on, hoping that his side can deliver here. Charles now puts it back to Truman. Truman with a pass, and slicing through them all goes Jake at Liam Sutcliffe. Just found that angle. Great build-up. First play off the back of the scrum. And Hull FC, would you believe, have their second try of the day. With 20 minutes played, they lead by 10 points to 4.
That was training ground move. They would have done 15, 20 reps of this during the week. And then they've transferred it to the pitch. And Liam Sutcliffe, one of Super League's better line runners, takes a beautiful cushion pass from Jake Truman. He scores his 5th of the season. Would you believe he's their second highest try scorer with 5 behind Lewis Martin. There's a paucity of points for Hull FC, but this is a lovely ball. It's a no-look pass that eventually undoes the Wigan defence. And they are rightly really pleased. Like, just take a look at Truman's eyes here as he passes. What's the saying? Tells lies with his eyes. And Liam Sutcliffe has just strolled through.
Well, this is unfamiliar territory in terms of Hull FC, but equally unfamiliar territory as far as Wigan are concerned as well. Not had a happy year in this city, having beaten by Hull KR, as we mentioned earlier. Back of that big derby game of such intensity last week against St Helens, maybe thought that today would be less of a challenge. Well, just at the moment, if they thought that, they need to get those thoughts out of their heads as Charles comes forward and kicks it, and 12 points to 4 midway through this first half, John.
Yeah, it's been an outstanding start. It was the #1 thing on their priority list. Hull FC was start well, and they've asked some questions. They really have, and Wigan have been found wanting. And Matt Peat, the Wigan coach, will be furious, because he will demand that his side respect Hull FC in the same way that they respect St Helens. You know, ultimately, there's 13 players on a pitch at one time, and this is a talented bunch. They've played in snatches this season, Hull FC. We've seen glimpses of what they're capable of. Well, they've put almost 20 minutes together that's been as good as I've seen this season.
So Wigan start again through the boot of Smith, and Hull start again through the bulk of Herman Esse. Another challenging carry. Truman out of dummy half this time. Here comes Sau, Lingy Sau. The starting props, Esse and Sau. A look around for what might be available here for Charles. Going wide. Generally gets up and plays. Hull seek the middle ground again. Morgan Smith marching into dummy half. Truman, Walker, Sutcliffe, buoyed by that earlier crossing moments ago of the whitewash. One play to go, Hull FC on the halfway line. Truman with that kick, bit of a wobble in the air. Eckersley readjusts perfectly, tackles well. Marshall's out there, but it's going to be a solo carry from Eckersley to get his side back to the 20 metres.
No, they got through the set well after points as well. I was looking at you mentioned the two middle forwards who got through an awful lot of work. Lingy Sau and Herman Esse. Esse in particular, I think, has really developed and improved through the season. I was wondering what I was seeing for the first month. He clearly struggled to adapt from conditions up in Queensland to Humberside, but he's now really found his feet and he's leading this pack forward.
It hasn't been glittering success for the new signings this year, has it, for Hull FC? Oh, that's a good kick. Hull FC will get it back, but only about 10 metres from their own line.
There was a little sharp intake of breath, I think, as well from some of those Wigan players that looked for a while that might carry. Jack Farriman just gets it to sit down the right side of the white line.
You look at that collection of signings they made. New Brown, gone. Pele, Okumbo. Came here with, you know, big hopes and big expectations, and none of them, I was going to say landed a punch, did they? But Franklin Pele landed one too many. Penalty here for Hull, and a chance to clear their lines. Wigan lacking a bit of discipline here.
That's a little bit of footwork from Davy Litton that's got the wrong side of Luke Thompson. And look, it's a really appreciative home side who see Herman Esse finish his first stint. A really significant contribution for him for the opening 25 minutes. Yeah, it's just a bit of footwork, changing direction, not much really. And Luke Thompson forced into a lazy high shot.
More quick hands there from Truman, which has helped it on its way. And this is looking very good from Martin. Lewis Martin quickly to his feet as well. Wigan struggling to get back in an organised defensive line. Farriman gets his head down and shoulder in and grabs a hold. Now it's Hull again.
Shifting early, aren't they? And they're catching Wigan on the edges. Lewis Martin runs over one, gets pulled down by him. He's been a really bright spark this year.
And in the meantime, Hull FC are building pressure. Inside ball. Aidin battling his way through. Finds the ground. He was tackled. Referee clearly heard. Shouting for tackle, so he has to go back and play it. And this is Charles, and that looked a little forward, but it wasn't given. One play to go. Walker's in at dummy half. Hull looking for the little grubber kick through. Truman's on the chase, but Wigan, well, have it sorted of sorts. They prevent any try-scoring opportunity, but they have conceded the dropout underneath the sticks.
Yeah, it's outstanding stuff again. And look, Yusuf Aiden wasn't held either, so I think they almost got hard done by, but they've earned a repeat set. They're now starting to put some real pressure on. It's a good kick, pointed to by Truman.
So the shot clock ticks down. Wigan using as much as they can before Smith with the restart. Lane, oh, it's an awkward bounce, and that has given Wigan an unexpected boost. Hull FC will be disappointed, Jordan Lane especially, that was allowed to just bounce past him.
Now then, this is a game that Hull FC have not just been in, they've effectively dominated the opening quarter.
The applause, by the way, is for the number 50 who's just come on the field. Yet another debutant for Hull FC. King Vuniyayawa just taking his position out there.
Yeah, could this be a really significant moment in the game? Because Hull FC had earned all of that, and then just one fortunate bounce means Wigan are now really bearing down on Hull FC.
O'Neill back to Smith. King Vuniyayawa, former teammate of Richie Myler, of course, when they were together at Leeds. O'Neill to Smith. Eckersley's involved. Out to Wardle. Can he put the footwork on? Well, the initial burst and then dragged down, but very close, but with only one to go. So Marshall's job is to shuffle it back to the middle. Smith's job is to put it up in the air, and Semba gets a hand on that, and he's just short. I think he's just short for the naked eye from this distance.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's earned his money already as King Vuniyayawa. He needed to be exactly where he was to stop Nsemba from scoring, but it looks like he's picked up an injury in the process as Junior Nsemba.
Well, the flight of the kick was terrific. So it's a handover here. It was a 6 tackle.
You know, just wondering for a second whether the referee was going to get a word in his ear, but it's a clean take by Nsemba. But then Martin and Vuniyayawa, they needed to be there, and they needed to be there right then. Otherwise, that was another Wigan score.
Okay, boys, over
But
here.
it is just about one of the most, great effort in defence there from Vuniyayawa. Just about the most difficult position to start from, isn't it? They're behind their own goal line when they run out. And Wigan, again, will lift the intensity here to keep them penned, and Nsemba comes rattling in. We've seen plenty of those kind of shots from him already in his brief so far career. We'll see plenty more, I'm sure, as that career rolls on. And Smith kicks out. It's a 20-40 potentially here. Well, he's already produced a 40-20, and that was nearly the reverse of that, the 20-40. Eckersley just about gets there.
I'll tell you what, he's rescued Hull FC there as Morgan Smith. That's a fantastic kick to relieve pressure.
Miski searching down the middle. Hull fans in good voice. Miski skips forward.
Move, Jake, 10 metres.
Smith.
Go to.
Oh, it's another clumsy moment from Wigan. Sometimes they've been barely recognisable the way they're playing today.
I tell you what, as opposition, you grow an extra foot when you see things like that. Unforced errors from high-quality players. You know, there's no reason, 99 times out of 100, Harry Smith had come up with that. There's no reason for him to make that error. And Hull FC, you know, again gifted possession and another opportunity to show what they can do.
Truman, Walker. Here's Sutcliffe, and Truman back in his middle. Taken forward by Will Gardner, relatively fresh from the interchange bench. Smith. And now Vuniyayawa sizes them up and takes them on. O'Neill and Nsemba combined, doing what they needed to do. Truman again. In this again by Gardner. Morgan Smith to Truman. Lane. They can't unpick Wigan's defence at the moment. What will they do on the last? Truman is going to put the kick up across the line. Brilliant leap, brilliant take, and Litton gets Hull's third. This is incredible at the moment. Davy Litton's first try of the season, Hull's third try of the afternoon. They are making Wigan look ordinary.
I'll tell you what, that is some take from Davy Litton. Just his 19th appearance for Hull FC. We tipped him up, didn't we, as one for the future, a prospect, still in the prospect stage of his career. But I'll tell you what, that is some take. Under pressure. And Jake Truman has come up with 2 try assists now in the opening half hour of the game. The kick's inch perfect, but it required every inch of Davy Litton getting over the top of Jake Wardle. Now, is it too early to say?
Yes, before you say it, John, yes.
I tell you what, they're playing well, though. They are playing really, really well, Hull FC.
Well, we categorised it as the best 15 minutes of their season so far. I think we can extend that to the best 30 minutes of their season so far. 16-4, and a kick here that will give them a 3-score lead with 8 minutes to go before half-time. An Old Faithful being sung like it's not often been sung this season, with a bit of enthusiasm and a bit of heart.
Yeah, and look, they've done it tough, haven't they? And I think, you know, the crowd that they've got just shows you how hard and the club have worked and how faithful the home supporters have been. They've stuck with this side through an awful lot of thin this season, so why not celebrate moments like this?
And Charles strides forward and strikes it with confidence and sees those flags raised for the third time today. It's Hull FC 18, Wigan 4, and Hull FC in dreamland at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, Jack Charles is the new half that has been blooded this season. Jake Truman's the man who needs his hands on the football at least twice a set, particularly in this area of the field. Well, that's an outstanding take. The more times you watch that, the better it looks. And he does right to celebrate.
Smith starts us again. And Hull FC through King Vuniyayawa, threatening to make that telling burst. Ellis just about kept a hold. I think Cade Ellis might have hurt himself in making that tackle. Meantime, they're switching it wide. Are the early birds? Lytton dealt with. Briscoe. Charles made a run, a little mistimed. Chamberlain. And a ball steal, I think. Yep, oh, it's a tip tackle. Tip tackle, so penalty for Hull. And again, they're given a lift out of here.
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit of frustration there from Wigan. Hull FC are throwing different pitches at the Wigan Warriors. They're prepared to shift early. The passes have stuck. They've got, importantly, outside backs with a bit of footwork on the edges as well. And it's Chamberlain who just gets tipped. Legs just come ever so slightly above the horizontal, but again, another pressure release and another opportunity for a Hull FC side that have puffed the chest out, haven't they? They've really puffed the chests out and they're going after this Warriors team.
Well, for all the joyfulness at the moment amongst the Hull supporters, there will be a nervousness about Wigan are going to come back in this game, potentially. So if they can get another score before the half-time hooter sounds, that would help. It's taking their time here, I think, because the referee is being spoken to by the video referee, just to see if there's any more that needs to be done.
Yeah, I think he's got an issue with something Tyler Dupree did in the tackle.
Well, here comes Tyler Dupree.
Now then.
And Liam Farrell, the skipper. Let's hear what the referee has to say here.
Yeah, fellas, I'll explain it to you now. So Tyler's come in and lifted the leg, and he's landed shoulder onto the head, but one of his feet is on the ground, and that's why it takes it to a sin bin. 10 minutes.
10 minutes in the sin bin for Tyler Dupree. Things go from bad to worse for the Wigan Warriors. Down to 12 men for the rest of this half, and for 4 minutes of the second half now. The winds of change this afternoon.
Yeah, it's Tyler Dupree who goes in late, grabs a leg, and then they're saying it's because of how Chamberlain finishes up, that there's still one leg left on the floor, that it's just a yellow card. So intimating there that could have been worse, could have been a lot worse for Tyler Dupree, could have been a red.
Vuniyayawa, he's having an influence, isn't he? He's king, the number 50. Reflection of Hull's use of numbers this year. Playing staff, playing personnel, new signings, young players. And there's an injury here.
I tell you, 18 points to 4 makes an absolute mockery of Wigan's best attack, best defence in the league, doesn't it?
Charles with a short pass. Chamberlain comes onto it. Deneve Barnforth. Another from the bench. Out of dummy half. Charles across the line. Drops it back in. The number 40 to the number 50. Vuniyayawa hasn't got much room in which to work. Picks up an extra yard or so. Truman pops it back. Walker with the quick hands, and here's an opportunity for Lewis Martin. Wigan's defence is across there quickly and athletically and enthusiastically, and Hull are denied, but they've got one left play up their sleeves. Truman kicking it high. We've seen that play before. Could come down anywhere. Marshall has it, and he ain't going to get out of that in-goal area. But hang on, the referee has set a knock-on from Hull, which means Wigan escape with the ball back on the 10-metre line.
Yeah, I think this time it's either Briscoe or Davy Lytton. Not quite got clean hands to that. I'd say it took a great piece of defensive work to the side of the field as well from Junior Nsemba to help out his half-back partner. As Lewis Martin's having a day out, isn't he, on this side? That stiff defence as well, that's great stuff.
Sam Walters has just come onto the field with Junior Nsemba going off for his spell on the sidelines. Miski. So 12 men of Wigan against the 13 of Hull, and Hull did not need any more encouragement than they've already given themselves with the way they've been playing. Wigan desperate to get something back before the hooter sounds for the half. Smith with a kick outside the 40, the referee says. It's not going to trouble the touchline. It's taken in by Martin, who goes searching on the inside, but fresh pair of legs in Walters hunts him down. Here's Truman. Back to Sutcliffe. Truman again. Lane comes cutting back. Sutcliffe wants to go from dummy half here, sees an opportunity for a little ramble inside the opposition half. Bamforth. And Vuniyayo has made the break. It's not on much in terms of support. And O'Neill's back to help out Ackersley with a tackle. But Hull again find themselves 10 away. 1 play to go. Charles switching it back towards this left-hand side. Now it's Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe puts the kick in. Eckersley's fumbled it. Wigan lose possession again. Hull FC lifted again with another set of 6. What are we watching here today, John Wells?
Well, I'll tell you what, we're watching some debut from King Vuniyayo. He's come off the bench and made a huge difference. Really lifted a team that was already going really well. And take a look at that for a break. Just, you know, almost a play abandoned, just to drop back off the inside and straight through. Strode downfield, and it took an Eckersley tackle, but then the kick, once ricocheted, was fumbled by Eckersley. So here we are, stacked to the right. Hull FC go again.
2 to go in the first half. Truman puts it out. It was a pass that put a lot of pressure on Charles. He spilled it, and Wigan, to their relief, have the ball back again through Wardle.
That's twice they've given up good positions, isn't it?
That's Farrell.
Still feel like they can't afford to do that, can they? You can't start rolling the dice.
That was the pressure on young Charles. Well, Wigan are trying to roll it inside their opponent's half. There's a bit of a juggle from O'Neill on that occasion, but luckily for him, he keeps it. If Wigan can get a try back here, it changes the mood of the game completely, doesn't it? Just before the break, but Hull FC will be anxious to avoid that. And
great read.
Use of Aiden again.
Brilliant read. He just dropped off Farriman, read the line on the inside, and floored Walters.
Smith. Eckersley. Wardle. So with 1 minute to go and with 1 play left, Wigan might be just giving their luck a hand here. Wardle running through, Wardle with a dummy, and the tackle denies him the opportunity, but the ball goes back. Well, was there a knock on there? It's Farrell who finishes it. There was clearly a juggle in all of that. Well, he says no try. Well, it's going to be tackle complete, I think, is going to be the issue. Let's hear from the video referee.
It's tackle. Are we on here? Are we tackle 5? We've got no try on field. We're checking if the tackle is complete. Run this angle through. Wardle's in possession. Right, we're back on this angle. Slow. Wardle is in possession there. And at that point, Walker has completed the tackle and the ball carrying arm is on the ground. I've made my decision.
Well, listen to the response from the Hull fans when they see that on the big screen. They recognise that as a completed tackle. No try, and not only that, it's going to be a penalty for Hull, isn't it? No try is confirmed. And Hull have it back and survive with 40-odd seconds of the first half remaining.
Well, in amongst all that late drama was a fantastic try-saving tackle from Jack Walker. He brought back into the side, told to calm his mind, told to pick his times to insert himself into this game, and he's had an almost flawless first 40 minutes, including what is a try-saving tackle on Jake Wardle. And take a look at this. He's a really dangerous player, is Wardle. It's a lovely tackle. It had to be, didn't it?
Just about in connection with his ankles at the other end when those elbows hit the ground as well. And Hull FC can bring it out. They ain't going to gamble too much here, are they? Well, they're still going wide. They're showing some ambition here. Here's Martin. And the hooter will sound. There was still a couple of seconds left on the clock, but the hooter sounds. What a first half that was from Hull FC. 18 points to 4. And I'd suggest to you, John, not a single person in the house would have expected this scoreline at half-time.
No, absolutely not. And I think comms and co-comms included, you know, gearing ourselves up for something. We've got something completely different. What a first half of rugby from the Black and Whites.
Well, Old Faithful is being sung with pride. What a first half that was. We'll be looking back on all of it in just a few moments' time.
We all live different lives, which is why at Toyota, we have an electrified vehicle to suit everyone. Whether hybrid, plug-in hybrid, hydrogen or all electric. At Toyota, every choice counts.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is...
Amazing.
Grand entrances included. Couples therapy included. Anger management included. Savouring moments included. Smiling till your cheeks hurt included. Warner Hotels. A great deal included. And book now to enjoy one night free on us.
We're in the land of the birds now.
Okay, nature boy, what's that bird then?
It's a male finch. They give seeds to females in a bonding ritual.
This is elite-level rescuing. Local garages are vying for a coveted place in the Green Flag network. Runcorn repairs fueling up. Salisbury looking nervous. And they're away. What a start from Bexley Autos. Glencoe Garage a stumble and down he goes. Onto the sheet now. Nature's traffic jam. Runcorn out in front, but anything can happen in the fog. Oh, Salisbury stepped up a gear. It's neck and neck. She's going to take it. Sensational repair. Only first-rate rescuers get to join our local breakdown network. Only the best get the Green Flag.
Comedy Central's found the perfect new flatmate.
You know what? I want to live here.
And despite some quirky, kooky, clumsy behavior...
Hey, Schmidt!
You know, I still can't get used to the way you let us know when you're using the toilet.
We're excited to say that new girl...
Good night, Nick.
Good night.
...is here to stay. Oh, come on, guys. That's breaking flatmate rule number 1. Brand new girl. Starts Monday from 11 on Comedy Central.
You hear that? It's Paris crying.
We're looking for an American.
You did it your way. Now we're gonna do it mine. femme de France.
It's a long story.
Welcome to a new season, folks. The home of Rugby League is right here.
Yeah, buckle up. Look at the emotion.
An absolute flying machine.
Nice work there on duty.
That is an extraordinary moment.
Did miraculously well to get it through.
He jumped like a rainbow and came up with a pot of gold.
And our next offering in terms of NRL, North Queensland against the Bulldogs, 9:15 a.m. on Sky Sports Action. Tomorrow, Cowboys Bulldogs, should be a good game. And we're looking forward to that on Action tomorrow, but we are really enjoying what we have seen today. From a neutral point of view, I think Wigan fans less so. Nightmare for them, but Hull FC, John, fantastic so far.
Yeah, and they were rewarded for their bright start, weren't they, with the opening try from Jack Walker. And we talked about the importance of Jake Truman having his fingerprints all over the game. Well, it was the boot and then the tip back from Lewis Martin, and Jack Walker, on his return to the side, opens the scoring for the home team. And you think, OK, 5 minutes gone, good start. Where's the response? So that response came on the quarter-hour mark through Marshall, and it was a good ball from Zach Eckersley, wasn't it? Just a delayed pass, undone the right edge of Hull FC. That's a different question.
It's only the 5th time this year, by the way, that Hull have reached the heady heights of the 20s. They beat London 28-24. They scored 22 against Huddersfield and Cass, and 20 against Salford in losing those games. So it's the second highest score of the season, and it's against the best defence in Super League. Strange things happen on sunny Saturdays in Hull. Yayawa up, Barnforth out to Truman. Hull come marching forward again. I mean, not only are we going to have to score 4 times, they've got to stop Hull scoring again. It's another issue as well. The way Hull are playing, there's every chance of them scoring again.
Yeah, they've made it look easy, haven't they?
Marshall. Well, Marshall's done terrifically here. And 1 or 2 assessed after Wigan's win at St Helens last week that top spot was theirs for the taking. Might be just a little bit of a reassessment, because they've got a difficult time with the fixture list, haven't they? That midweek game against Lee coming up shortly. So a compression of games. And the flick from Kieran is not held by Miski, and Hull FC congratulate themselves again. They would say forcing another Wigan mistake.
Yeah, and I would agree. Yeah, you're right with Wigan's fixtures. They obviously have that round 19 fixture against Warrington that we were all looking forward to already. Then Huddersfield, then they go to Leeds, and then again they face St Helens in round 22. So before, by the way,
they got Lee in the middle of that.
Yeah, and right at the end of that 5-game streak, they've got Hull visiting the team that's doing a number on them at the moment.
10 seconds, boys. How do you head in? Head in.
Well, Leeds with an early score against Hull KR. 6 points to 0 for them, and that's very much part of the top 6 shake-up, isn't it? Hull KR still fancy themselves for a top 2 finish. Lee will be hoping for a big reaction under their new coach, or new temporary coach, in Brad Arthur. But all eyes on this game at the moment. Fascinating stuff. Charles with a pass away. Lane's put down.
Oh, I thought he could have gone out the back there. They had a numerical advantage. Decided to hit the front runner.
Bernie Yayawa again. He's been tireless today, hasn't he? Striding in.
Go 4.
Barnforth.
Okay, still 4.
Truman offers it back on the inside. It's Ed Chamberlain. So last play again. Hull FC find themselves in an attacking kick position. Truman puts it up there. Marshall watches. Hands go up. Ball spilt. Knocked forward. Barnforth picks it up again. Hull FC get another set. 10 metres away from the Wigan line. Extraordinary. Aiden Slipping through almost. Eckersley recovers just about. Barnforth waits. Here's Truman. Truman puts it back. Charles now. Here's Walker. Numbers out there. There was a touch, and it's going to be a race here. Farriman's off, but Farriman's dragged down. There was a touch there, but the referee said it went backwards. Wigan rescued that situation, and suddenly they find themselves galloping to the other end of the field.
What a passage of play, and they've been let off, I think, the Wigan Warriors. Maybe that ball was knocked forward, but Wigan out waiting to hang around. This could be a really significant 60 seconds in the context of this game.
Wardle picks up. Farrell. Farriman's there, but Farrell goes searching wider. And Miskey has stepped inside here. Thought he saw a corridor of opportunity. But Hull FC close it. O'Neill. Ellis. Smith reaches high, puts the kick up. Briscoe's watching Marshall, so that when Marshall catches it, he can make the tackle. Never any intention of challenging for the ball there, Briscoe. Knew his job. Kick from Smith. Is that played out? No, it's not. It's not played out. Even though Chamberlain was advancing towards the ball, and then a Wigan word into the referee's ear, and the ref says we'll change that into a penalty.
Well, I can see why he's upset about it, because you're right. If Chamberlain's advancing towards the ball, there's no doubt at all that would have been a repeat set if the ball had stayed in play, or would have been Wigan possession. But he's then let himself down as Harry Smith by back-chatting, which is why we've got the penalty.
Another half-break again. Here's Charles. What a day in the sun, physically and metaphorically, for this Hull FC team as it stands. And looking for more, and we've not seen a reaction from when we've seen that, 80-metre breakdown field, but apart from that, there's still some mistakes in them. Truman, Walker with a dummy, bouncing off the shoulder of a couple of defenders, including Walters. Play on, says the referee. Truman, here's SA, straightens things up. Big effort. Barnforth. Truman on the 6th. Charles now puts it backwards, and they're running out of room, running out of options. Into the hands of Chamberlain. Chamberlain's kick. Well, it's a good one as well, because it pins Wigan inside that in-goal area, and Hull get another set of 6 on the back of it.
I'll tell you, and they got a bit of good fortune as well there, because Chamberlain's kick had a bit too much weight on it, and it just clipped the post pad, which took the heat off the ball and forced Tyler Dupree into a mad scramble. You see it just clips and it takes a bit of the weight off the kick. That would have gone dead. Instead, Hull FC get another shot.
Well, this place buzzing like it's rarely buzzed this season. They were up and bouncing when they beat Leeds here. Less so when they beat London, because they were expected to beat them that day, and they only just got away with it with a last-minute try. But all expectations out of the window with what we're watching at the moment. Sal. 3 men in the tackle, slowing things down. Barnforth collects. Hull with Walker. Back for Sal. Sal looks for a platform now, so options right and left here for Hull FC. Whichever they fancy. Barnforth, they've numbered up on that left-hand side. And switched out to Truman. And Sutcliffe is going to be rounded up and put down. Just a hint of an interception there from Wigan, but no more than that. And SA comes pounding in again. And again they're on the 6, and again they're putting so much pressure on this Wigan line. And Barnforth's going to go out from dummy half. And has he touched this down? No, he's held up. And the handover back on the 10.
Wow, what a passage of play again. They're really asking some questions. Jack Walker's movement in tandem with Jake Truman is really causing problems. And it took a really good defensive intervention from Abbas Miski earlier on in the set, and then just numbers in the tackle to prevent Denis Barnforth from touching down.
This is Marshall. Luke Thompson's back on the field for Wigan. This is O'Neill. Dupree. Swallowed up by defenders. O'Neill comes left to Smith. Smith's got Farrell for company, but he can't get the pass away. But now he does out of the tackle. Eckersley back to the middle. O'Neill just ushering Thompson onto a big run and thrust forward. 4 tackles gone in this set. Ellis with a short one. Dupree springing into it again. So 20 metres out. What do they do from here? They're looking at Farrimond, and they're looking at going through hands here, and Kieran, and they've done it brilliantly, have they? The dive for the corner for Abbas Miski. Well, Hull are congratulating themselves. No try. There doesn't look a lot of confidence from the body language of the Wigan players. Let's hear from the video referee.
Tackle 5, we've got no try. We're checking touch, please, into grounding. It's going to be on the touch line here. Passes to Miski. Going towards the line at this point. It's a legitimate tackle. Right, this is going to be our angle. Miski's in possession at that point. And you can see there that his knee is in touch. I've made my decision.
Well, it's these small margins, isn't it, that normally you'd expect Wigan to convert into points. But they're denied again, and brilliant defensive work again.
No, I'll tell you, that's the second bona fide try-saver from Jack Walker. What an outstanding piece of defensive work from the fullback. Again, covered some ground, made his decision and committed, and just got enough of Abbas Miski. You see him flying in from the right-hand side of your screen. Oh, so close. But Jack Walker once again, so that's a try and 2 try-saving efforts from the fullback now.
So Hull retain this 20-point lead, which, when you work out the mathematics, tells you that it is still a 4-score lead. Still, Wigan have to score 4 times in the 26 minutes remaining. That is not beyond any realms of possibility. But as time ticks by, the more likely this big upset is on. Walker wide right. Litton put down. Walker again. Here's Briscoe, trying to help his side gain some valuable ground, but he's met with some real determination from 3 Wigan defenders. Just a big boot down the middle. Crowd doing their best to put Marshall off, but he's faced worse barracking than that. And Wigan start 15 minutes from the halfway line. There's a weariness to Wigan's forwards as they're trying to get back behind to play the ball here as well. In fact, 2 tackles in, they've still got Sam Walters ahead of the play the ball. In fact, he's just about got back. And another Wigan mistake. As many today as the whole season.
Yeah, and it'd be a real cause for concern for Matt Pete. Fair enough, the opening 10 or 15 minutes of the game, when Hull FC were really reacting after that first try and the crowd got involved, but we're now nearly an hour into this contest and it's continued to bug them, hasn't it? Just the simple things, the basic things.
24 minutes to go. The clock becomes a friend of Hull FC here. Not they need many friends, they're doing it for themselves. Charles with a short pass. Chamberlain carries it in. And that is a Hull knock-on. So it all rights itself, if you like, because Wigan get it back just about in the position where they lost it.
Yeah, frustrating for Simon Griggs and the rest of the coaching group, as they can see themselves in a great position, and just again another lapse in concentration. This time from Ed Chamberlain.
Okay, boys. Heads in now. 10 seconds.
I mean, we're going to got to get on the bike, though, haven't they? I mean, look, 23 minutes is still an age.
Francis Cummings looking on there, assistant coach to Simon Griggs, of course. Eckersley, oh, misconnected and out of play. Well, this is unrecognisable from Wigan today. As much as this is Hull's best day of the year, this is easily Wigan's worst.
Yeah, look, there's still loads of time, but things still need to be executed. Eckersley chooses the right decision to go on the outside, but Jake Wardle's just not expecting the pass. He's not got the depth, really, or the shape. A, for Zach Eckersley to opt to throw it, and B, for Jake Wardle to do much with it when he gets it. As it stands, Hull FC back in possession. I'll tell you now, if they get another score, the roof will come off this stadium.
Yeah. You just wonder whether what is behind this Wigan performance today. Is it a hangover from last week's St Helens, the heaviness of the day, the enthusiasm of the opposition? We'll be hearing from Matt Peake, no doubt, at the end of the game. But in the meantime, Hull FC are looking to prosper again here with Truman. Bamford in at dummy half. Charles pops it back for Chamberlain. Chamberlain was it caught a little high there? Hull fans thought he was by Kane Ellis. Referees not eager to pursue that claim. It's gone backwards. Truman tries to get himself free. Walker loses it. So knock on Wigan's head and feet, but very, very close to their own line.
Yeah, just got a little desperate there for a second, didn't it? Denis Bamford, I think, there was a Wigan defender who got an arm round just as he was trying to release it. And Jack Walker receiving some running repairs on the field, just not able to pull the ball in, and just got a kind of clout off the ball from Adam Kieran, nothing in it. An accidental clash, accidental contact, if anything.
Well, it's a difficult starting position, but we know enough about Wigan's pace in the backs that they have venom even from this range. But at the moment, it's just a heavy-duty task of clearing their lines. Farrell. 21 minutes to go. There'll be fans inside here, Hull FC fans, who will be counting those minutes down. Still a nervousness, but they don't need to be nervous when Wigan keep making those mistakes. This is incredible. And somehow they're trying to keep it alive. Oh, well, he said the advantage line wasn't crossed here, so they're going back to the first knock-on.
Yeah, and Harry Smith's remonstrating, but it's probably fair comment that there was a lateral pass, but no ground made. But again, another error from the Wigan Warriors. There's good contact in there from Denis Bamford that's just got underneath the ball and dislodged it from Brad O'Neill's grasp. But they get to go again. Again, they've loaded up every attacking player, the open side of the field. What's Jake Truman got up his sleeve this time?
Well, the ball is picked up off the ground by Truman, so that reduces his potential impact. Takes a sting out of that situation because of the delivery. So now, just pushing hard again. And look where they are, 10 away. Hull FC, Bamford, waiting. Back to the middle. And another big carry. Look how many people he's got on his back there. Two big Wigan forwards, dragged an extra couple of yards. Lane is put down. Bamford's back in there. Hull reorganise to the right of centre. Truman pops it back into the hands of Gardner. Gardner held up. Truman. So. And a handover on the last.
Right, the attack's blunted a little bit, because in that passage of play, Jack Walker, we saw him get a glancing blow from Adam Kieran, incidental contact. Jack Walker's been removed from the field for a head injury assessment, so we've seen David Litton move to full-back, not a stranger to that position, but there's adjustments on the fly here from Hull FC.
19 minutes to go. We keep counting down these minutes. Lots to come. NRL in the morning, Castleford against Catalan in the afternoon. Closing down this round 18. Verdict 3:30 on Wednesdays. And then we start again next week with another round of fixtures in this Betfred Super League.
Great.
And it's getting more and more intriguing as the weeks go on.
Sorry, Dave. Great tackle from Lewis Martin. He's come off second best in that, which is why there's a break in play. But it was a brilliant read in the first instance to get in there. I think it's been opened up a little bit. Yeah, just the nose is leaking, Dave.
That's okay if it's blood.
That's a great read, though. It had to be on Abbas Miski.
Tackle for that, isn't it?
Well, everything stops. And the crowd are getting its breath back as well, I think, aren't they?
No, they've really engaged. They've really engaged, as they have. I've been here a lot this season, and despite the results, and despite the adverse performances, this is a set of fans that haven't abandoned their team.
Tackle for there, boys. It was blood.
And they really have. They've ridden every moment, haven't they? And this is the reward, I think, for that loyal support.
Still a little bit of nail biting going on.
Liam, tighter! Liam, tighter. Is he good? 1 second, wait. It's in the way. Is he good?
Referee's getting impatient, wants to carry on with the game. So Wigan looking to get themselves back, climbing this mountain. And here's a man who can make things happen in Wardle. And it's a forced knock-on from Lytton, and it's just as well. Otherwise, Wigan was scoring.
Yeah, well, that's you've got to do that. And Lytton got an arm in there. He knew that Liam Farrell was on the inside of him. But it was either give another set of possession or hand away 4, potentially 6 points. So they'll back the defence for another set. Well, that's the class of Jake Wardle, though, isn't it? Just get on the outside of his man.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Head in, Jordan. Don't go early. Head in, leggy. Shot puck off. Ball is in. Hold it now.
Smith waits for the ball back from O'Neill, and a little dummy from Smith. But SASA grabs a hold of his man and puts him down. O'Neill searching right, trying to bounce his way over, and he has done. Not the prettiest try of the season, and in fact it's not even confirmed as a try just yet.
Just confirming maintaining possession of the ball.
Maintaining possession, that's the question. Here's a video referee.
It's tackle 1, we've got a try on field. We're checking grounding of the ball, please. Brad O'Neill is in possession at this point, going towards the line. It's supposed to be a legitimate tackle. In his hand, and that ball appears grounded. I'll just check camera 2, see if that gives us anything different. This one might be better, we can see that all the way through. He's in possession, and the ball is grounded. I've made my decision.
Well, is this part 1 of the comeback? It'll have to be a 4-parter if it is going to be a comeback. But Hull looking a little less comfortable now, and there are still 17 big minutes to go.
Yeah, is that the shift in momentum that the Wigan players and travelling fans and coaching group had all been looking for? Because it had eluded them until now. This is an important kick as well from Adam Kieran.
Should kick this. They have to go up in 6s really to help their cause, and he has kicked it. 24 points to 10, and it's the Wigan fans in the far distance who find their voice, trying to encourage their side on the back of Brad O'Neill's try.
Yeah, it's just a short-range effort. Fatigue really starting to show now on both sides, actually. But there's so little line speed there, no marker present. SASA left on the floor, and it's just a sheer will of determination from Brad O'Neill.
Wigan looking to go back-to-back in quick succession. Marshall with the initial thrust. O'Neill, and now Farrell. Man of great experience. O'Neill again. Bends his back, claps his hands. Want to get on this with this as quickly as he possibly can. Thompson carts it in. Wigan have reached the halfway line, almost. After 3 tackles, O'Neill picks up and sees a bit of a scamper opportunity. Hull close him down. Now it's with Ellis. Thompson just looks and sniffs the air. See what's up, but Hull's defenders come charging in, and Wigan are going to be forced to kick again here on the last. Smith sticking it up there. Briscoe leaping up, catches it well, and Hull FC should have another set of 6 here.
Good take, important take from a really experienced player. It's all these moments now. There's going to be, you know, another 100, 150 moments that are going to complete this game. Hull FC have got to nail them because Wigan have got a sniff here.
Oh, he's lost it, and picked up by Kieran, and Kieran's just held up. Hull's turn to make the mistakes, and Wigan suddenly sensing an opportunity. Farriman tries to bury his way underneath. Just about held at bay. O'Neill now, back to Smith. There's an urgency about Wigan. Farrell puts the right footstep on. Hull's defenders waiting and ready. O'Neill's having a look round. The numbers are to his right. That's the way he goes. Ellis. Smith again. Smith puts an early kick in, and it's going to be picked up by Davy Litton and thrown out of play. It's another set of 6 here for Hull to survive.
Well, I'm not sure that was the play either from Harry Smith. They had tackles in the bag. A clearly fatigued Hull FC side on their own goal line. Yeah, they've got another set, but, you know, very, very early in the tackle count to slide that through.
Well, maybe he just backed his kicking game and thought, we'll have them next time. Maybe that was the thought process. But either way, there will be a next time for Wigan's attack. 3 tries they need to win it. 14 minutes. Hull FC have given everything to this game. What have they got left? That looked forward. Dupree runs it in. What a careless mistake that would have been. Here's Farrell. This is Thompson. Familiar sight. O'Neill. Eckersley's, oh, it's another set of 6 here. 6 again for Wigan. Smith with a dance. O'Neill pushing away one defender. Back it comes from Walters. And now it's Kieran, and he's spilled the ball. And Hull FC can clear their lines and breathe a huge sigh of relief.
What a massively important tackle from Jake Truman, because they were chasing shadows for large parts of that set. And Truman who's rescued Hull FC, because if Wigan score there, well, you don't want to think what comes next. It would just be a barrage for the remaining 13 minutes of this game. Really, really significant defensive contribution from Truman.
And a potentially very meaningful last 14 minutes, 13 minutes for the Super League table. Wigan will still be top. They'll still have a game in hand on all around them, but they will not quite have the dominance that they were expecting to have after today. Oh, that's a poor pass. That's a tired, fatigued pass. It's the 4th tackle. Chamberlain's decided to kick. Not sure whether he's lost count there. Marshall can bring it back. And look at those Hull bodies. You can feel the fatigue from here.
Yeah, they're hanging on, aren't they? They need a big contact in defence here. Someone to dig the shoulder in and really slow the momentum of the Wigan Warriors, because this is flowing one way at the moment.
Well, the Hull fans are trying to help out. Walters slips as he takes it in. Mago's turn. In fact, he puts it back to Smith. Farrell to Eckersley. Eckersley switching it wide.
That's better from Lingy Sal. That's the way to buy yourself an extra couple of seconds.
Wardle to Farrell. Farrell going against the grain of that oncoming defence. Wardle can't bully his way through. Again, they're on the last. Harry Smith just puts his hand up. It's going to be a kick from him. Smith sticks it up there. Where's it coming down? It's not back off a Wigan hand. Ellis, oh, if he put it out wide, and he does now. Miski comes searching back towards the middle, desperate to keep it alive. He's knocked it on. There was a try there. begging for Wigan, and somehow Hull have managed to deny them.
No, it's just scramble. It's just a desire to protect their goal line, not to give away and shoot themselves in the foot when they've performed the way they have today and got as far in front as they have. They know that a side with the quality of the Warriors are going to come at them. So it's rearguard stuff from here on in.
6 more tackles equates to another 45 seconds for Hull to run the clock down. They're thinking in terms of seconds and minutes rather than points at the moment. 10.5 to go. Well, they put a bit of room between their backsides and the goal line here. And a bit more being earned by Sow, and an offload that's picked up by Charles. Charles now. Oh, brilliant! Brilliant from Charles. Has found the break. Looks for the inside, looks for the out. Eckersley seeks him out and puts him down. Gets up and plays it. Is this the moment that Hull win the game? The kick towards the corner, and it's taken in midair, and an offload, and a knock-on, and a potential offside there, but it is a knock-on. Hull will settle for that. They get the ball back within sight of the Wigan line, and with less than 9 minutes to play.
And it's the young guns that are doing it as well for Hull FC. Jack Charles with a scintillating break up the middle of the field, and nearly undoes Zach Eckersley as well. And then followed up by a brilliant take from Davy Litton. Here's the break. Oh, it's just brilliant stuff. And do you know what? He makes exactly the right decision as well, because Jordan Laney's covered there. Retains possession. The kick comes, and it's Mago who puts a hand to it. So this will be possession again to Hull FC.
Well, I think in amongst all the hullabaloo, I think I heard news that Jack Walker has failed his HIA, so they'll be without him now for the rest of the game, obviously. And a pop ball over the top, this to finish it, but brilliant defence from Wigan. Great recovery. I think it was Kieran who got over there to make that tackle, didn't he?
I think if Lewis Martin could rerun that play, he'd probably jammed down on that left foot. I think it was a little too ambitious. First tackle. Now it would have sealed the game, but I think that it takes a miracle to get in a corner with that much space.
1 second, Jack. 1, 2, 3.
Look, if they come away with the 2 points in, they come away with this scalp. I mean, they won't care a jot, will they? But I just don't think there's enough room to work here. It was always covered by Kieran.
Well, they'll be licking their lips at what comes next, Hull FC. They've got Catalan next week in Perpignan, and then St Helens at home. And if they're not going to have a great season themselves, they can maybe put a dent in 1 or 2 others the way things are going. They are certainly rocking Wigan, not shaking them to their foundations, but certainly giving them something to think about. But this is brilliant from Farriman. This is very good from the youngster. And it's a penalty, clearly.
It's just been undone and turned inside out as Davy Litton by the footwork of Jack Farriman, who looks like a special talent himself, doesn't he? Yeah, it's just a reactionary arm.
Well, the touch judge again is having a word with the referee. I think you might have heard the referee saying, I've got an opinion as well. Is there a card coming out here?
It's on a break.
Video referees having a look at the evidence. So that's why we've got this hesitation.
He's on a break, isn't he?
Well, it's a brilliant break by Farriman, and it's just great footwork, isn't it? Really well balanced, and just does that come off the ball? Does that even make... Well, we'll find out now.
Here we go. Davy Litton is in trouble.
Mate, there's high contact, but he does make a break, so he prevents him on the break, so it's 10 minutes.
10 minutes in the sin bin. The length of that doesn't really matter. There's only 8 minutes left to play. What it means is that Hull FC are down to 12 for the rest of the game, and it again gives Wigan a glimmer of a hope of pulling off a miracle here, of rescuing this lost cause.
Well, Hull FC's 2 best players this afternoon, in Jack Walker and Davy Litton, will play no further part. Jack Walker failed his HIA as we found out a couple of minutes previous, and then Davy Litton will with 8 minutes left on the clock. That's it for his afternoon.
Is Walker back on the field? Actually, Walker's back on the field, I think. Oh, and here he is, trying to stop Marshall, but Marshall will go through. Marshall scores. 24-14. Kick to come. 2 more tries needed by Wigan, but only 7 minutes left to play.
Just online with me, Adam.
Well, strap yourselves in. We were under the impression that Jack Walker had failed his HIA. Clearly not. He's back out on the field. And we've got a bit of a grandstand finish here. It's just great play, great vision from Harry Smith. Decides to go over the top, short circuit the Hull FC defence. And Marshall grabs a double for the afternoon. Will it be enough, though?
Yeah, quarter of a century now, 25 tries for Liam this season in Cup and League, but he won't be thinking too much about that at the moment as Kieran strikes it, and yes, it has gone over. So 24 points to 16. Hull FC know they have to repel Wigan with 6 and a bit left to play. Are we going to see a grandstand finish, or do Hull hang on?
Well, it's just a great piece of eyes-up play from Harry Smith. Just decides, look, I'm not going to go through the hands here. I'm going to go right over the top of everybody. And there is some serious fatigue here in this Hull FC side. Have they got themselves far enough in front? Because this is a Warriors side now who's really going to give it to them for the final 5 minutes or so of this game.
Well, from Wigan's point of view, it is very doable from here, isn't it? What they've got to fix up is mistakes, certainly at their own end of the field. They'll fancy themselves, they'll back themselves under this kind of pressure to turn the heat back on Hull. And Farrell now, and here's Wardle, and Wardle with a step, and Eckersley's in support, and Eckersley puts the foot down, and Eckersley scores, and there is hope for Wigan, and Hull hearts may yet be broken. 24-20. They're back within a single score, and there's plenty of time on the clock.
Wow. They have not messed around, have they, Wigan? They were running out of time, there was scoreboard pressure, and they've decided to take the handbrake off. I'd say yes, so some try this. It's brilliant work by Jake Wardle in the build-up to it as well. Big shift right to left. Eckersley to Farrell, but then this is the key play. It's a lovely step inside from Wardle. And Eckersley takes repossession again and outpaces the cover defence. You take another look at the angle of this one. It's Wardle with that sharp left foot break step that undoes the Hull FC defence. You know, Farrell's just held his line there, and then Zach Eckersley bursting through in support.
So Kieran settles to strike it, and it is a success, and Wigan are back within 2. 24-22, 4.5 riotous minutes to be played here. Cherry and Whites have optimism like never before today, and Hull FC are living on an empty gas tank. Can they get through on the fumes that remain? They've made a change. Back onto the field is Vuniyayawa.
They've just got to come. I mean, the starting point is complete defensive set.
Lingisau's gone off. That's the change. So Wigan again starting from deep. 72 minutes, Lytton at Sinbin. 73 minutes, try for Marshall. 74 minutes, try for Eckersley. In those 3 dramatic moments, this game has been turned on its head. Is there more to come?
Hold it now. Ball 2.
O'Neill. Mago puts it wide. Walters dealt with.
They've opened the field up, they're going to come now, Wigan.
Go third.
O'Neill again. Left they come. Mago out of the line. Dashing came Chamberlain to try and close things down. Briscoe wants this. Briscoe gets it. And he's just happy to take the ground and take the tackle. And suddenly the self-belief resurfaces amongst the Hull supporters.
Oh, and used all the experience in the world as well. And Walker, there was a roar from the crowd. Did Thompson take Walker high? No, says the referee. Here comes Havard. Oh! Burn, rather.
Burn. Not missing. Not missing on Vuniyayawa. That's taking a bit of petrol out of Vuniyayawa's tanks. Well, they're not making any ground here, Hull FC.
Well, Liam Burns lined up Vuniyayawa from 10 metres away, but they're not hanging around now. Hull FC, they've got to the end of the set.
SASA stands. This is the last. Truman kicks, puts it up there. Miskey's underneath it. Sutcliffe's on the chase. Miskey cuts back on the inside, and Sutcliffe has done terrifically well there to drag his man down.
Important tackle, because if Miskey gets clear, then there's space, because the rest of that kick chase was not connected.
2.5 minutes just over. Left to play. Time for scripts to be rewritten. Smith runs into trouble. Farrell. This is Walters. O'Neill again. Now with Smith. Smith to Farrell. There's danger on this left flank, provided by Farrell. Slips to the ground. Chamberlain had a hand in that. Walker finished it off. Last play in this set. It's back with Walters. He's running into a cul-de-sac. Puts it back to Marshall. Marshall slings it to the middle. Hull are running out of numbers on that left-hand side of their defence, but Smith can't get the pass away. The ball goes to ground, and Hull heroically have it again with only 2 minutes left to play now.
Take a bow, Jake Truman. Again, another potential try-saving, match-saving effort in defence. Just decides he's not going to let Harry Smith engage the outside defenders. Brilliant work.
Well, there's another. Matty Laidlaw's just coming onto the field for the very first time today. The Hull FC interchange comes onto the field with 90 seconds left to play, and this is his first carry. So there's a freshness there.
And it's a solid one as well. He'd be nervous, wouldn't he?
Inside the 40, they're going for glory with a 40-20. But Marshall always had that, because the kick was never going to be long enough. So with 80 seconds left, potentially Wigan's last set, why go for that 40-20?
I mean, middle of the set, just play the set out and put them in a corner.
Miskey. Well, in fatigued brains, strange decisions are made, John. And now it comes for a big hit forward by Thompson. Thompson gets up. O'Neill now. Mago gallops in. Mago throws it backwards. Thompson has it again. Searching the right-hand side. Miskey gathers it in. Keeps it alive. Farriman now putting on the footwork. Farriman dragged down. Can't get a pass out safely. Takes the tackle. Now it's back to the middle again. And further left. Smith and Farrell. Farrell's got Wardle there. Wardle well matched in defence by Briscoe. The ball's gone to ground, but has been recollected by Marshall. Here's the final one. 24 seconds to play. Final play for Wigan, surely. Up it goes. Where's this coming down? Into the hands of Lewis Martin. And the whole fans erupt in what they feel now is the knowledge that their side are going to win. But there's still a few plays to be seen here. Matty Pete's seen enough. And there goes the hooter. And there goes the blast of the referee's whistle to confirm one of the shock wins of the Super League season. What a game. Hull FC, brilliant on occasions. Wigan came thundering back, almost had them, but it's Hull FC who hang on for an incredible victory.
I'll tell you, it's been an absolute privilege to witness this, and I agree with you. One of, if not the shock result of the season. You know, the Wigan Warriors were laying all before them. Well, Hull FC were having none of it, and the young stars, I think it's the young stars that have really shone and stood up. Davy Litton, Lewis Martin, Jack Charles. You've got Will Gardner and Denise Barnforth off the bench, and they've taken it to the World Club champions and overturned the World Club champions.
And you've got to choose a man of the match. Who was your player of the match today?
It's such a close one. I think Jake Truman has been outstanding. I think Yusuf Aiden again, outstanding. Herman SSE in the middle. But my player of the match, and he didn't even make the entire game, is Jack Walker. I think sensational in some of the defensive work that he did was open the scoring for Hull FC. and really was on hand at some key moments. He's my Betfred player of the match, Jack Walker.
Well, a third win of the season for Hull FC. Wigan defeat. They're still the top of the table. They're still the likeliest winners of the Super League League Leaders' Shield. But today they've had a real shock. Hull FC next to bottom, defeating Wigan at the top. Jack Walker is off to have a chat with us. We'll be having a word with him in just a moment. But what an incredible result. Wigan, of course, have to play Warrington next week, and Warrington, after their win against St Helens last night, will be buoyed and extra buoyed after what they've seen today. Let's just get a quick chat with Jack Walker. We're running out of time, but Jack's got the headphones on. So Jack, man of the match today, player of the match. How good was that today? How good was that performance?
Yeah, it was awesome, mate. You know, we made it hard for ourselves really towards the end there, but you know, it shows what character we've got in this team, and we feel like this win's been coming, and to go do it against the champions is some effort.
Incredible heart, incredible.